All right, cool. So, all right, so if you want to run a good deal, it's fucking really easy. And the reason why is because there's only really 3 phases, okay, and a couple different golden rules, okay? So, and this is, without this, you have no control, but it's so easy to have control because this shit is so easy to do. Do you know what I mean? So number 1 is you need to track the data. So what data do you need to track? You need to get a production log. So you need to understand what your team finishes on each day. You need to understand what each person in your team does every single day. The next thing is you need to have your gauges. So you need to understand the pipeline of how your guys are producing the sales they're producing. Okay, they need to understand how they're doing it. The next thing is you need to have a profit and loss sheet. So you need to understand what the gross is coming in, okay, what your expenses are, and what the net profit is after every single day. Okay, and that gives you the indication to understand how to grow your net profit. Okay, so how the aim of the game to run any business, it's not about gross, the revenue, it's about the net. That's what determines a successful business, nothing else. Does that make sense? You could run any business, okay, but the net is the thing that is the most important, okay? So this, by collecting these 2 though, it gives you the understanding of how to drive this. Okay, so based on your gauges, okay, what does this teach you guys? What does the gauges teach you?
How the areas of improvement, it just teaches you the patterns that
yeah.
you need to fix.
It teaches you the next thing, which is how to plan for the next day. Yeah. So your daily planner, your territory management, your schedule, okay, your morning meeting, ABC players, leaders meeting is all determined on this. You can't plan any of these things here without this, or this, or this. Does that make sense? Okay, so if your business hasn't made money, okay, the one thing to get control of is to go back to this. So you need to look at the gauges, okay? So you need to look at patterns of behavior. So gauges will tell you the work ethic, it'll tell you the skill that's lacking, and it'll also tell you the mentality that people have. Cool? Once you understand what it is, if it's the work ethic, if it's a skill, if it's a mentality, then you can plan your meeting around that. So the way you do it, okay, is by, so there's a couple of things that you need to plan. So number 1 is your one-to-one conversations, 1 combos. The next thing, okay, is your team leaders meeting. The next thing is the sales impact. The next thing is your overall morning meeting. Cool? Now, with regards to all these 4 things, okay, it all depends on something called A, B, C players. Okay, so A players are highly motivated and highly educated. B players, okay, are uneducated and unmotivated. So highly educated and unmotivated. C players, okay, are uneducated, highly motivated, and your D players are the unmotivated and unknowledgeable people. Cool? They're just distractions. So you need to kill these people and get them out of your business as quickly as possible. Does that make sense? So the way that you do that is just categorize it. So you look at your gauges, you look at the people that are working hard, that are motivated, okay, that aren't performing, okay, that know how to perform, you just put them in the B player. Okay, if they're highly motivated, they're working hard, they're performing, they're an A player. If they're working hard, they're not really performing, but they're excited in you, they're a C player. And if they're just not trying and they're like, they know what to do and they've proven it for years, okay, you just get rid of that person. Okay, you'd rather, the one negative person reduces the production of your team by 30 to 40%. So you might as well just get them out. Does that make sense? Cool. So who do we run our meetings around?
A and C.
The A's and C's, right? So the A player meetings, I'll probably have a catch up with that person like one-to-one, even in the morning, in the evening, okay? The leaders meeting, okay, is gonna be on the narrative of how to develop these people, okay? So I'll probably be doing that with the A players. The sales impact, okay, will be around this people only, okay? It's not to motivate these people or get these people off the ground. I really put 20% of my effort in these people. I might, if I have a catch up or one-to-one with that person, okay, it would just be like, how do we improve in today, okay? And if they give me one sort of negative, I'll be like, okay, cool, the best person for you to talk to is that person over there. Okay, and the reason why is because if you chat to that person, they were literally where you were at before. And I don't even give them any time. I literally just offset it to another person. Does that make sense? Yeah. But if my A player was struggling with something, okay, about like leading or trading, okay, or how to get from like 4 a day to 6 a day, okay, then I would be like, I'd spend a little bit more time with that person. Because if a C player, okay, is like working really hard, they're super driven, they come in early, blah, blah, okay, I'm gonna get that person from like the 1 to 2 a day to like a 3 to 4 a day. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Cool. And then whatever it takes to get that person to get to this stage. Morning meeting, okay, I want you guys to write this down, it's really important. Okay, so there's a schedule behind it. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Cool, Monday, okay, is big picture. Big picture. This is, we're gonna take over the motherfucking world sort of shit. Yeah. Monday is like, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna do it, and this is what it's gonna take from all of us to get to this point. Yeah. Cool? Tuesday is industry specific information. Anything to do with what's going on in the market, okay? How many customers are still available? Or if we're in the energy market, how much the average person's spending, okay? And how much we can save the money, and the demand from the client, okay? Why sales make sense, okay? Why our services, why we get paid so much, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Cool, that's a very industry specific meeting, okay? Nothing motivational, all industry specific, okay? The Wednesday is depending on the vibe of the office, of the team, okay? If the team is lacking a bit of like oomph at the beginning of the week, there's like a motivation one, right, okay? And the way that you can do it is from like a story, so like a success story, okay? So talk about like anyone in our industry, like a story about someone in our industry that's gone from X to Y, somebody that's like a celebrity, like Oprah Winfrey or something, like who was like come from like the trenches, who's now
on our road trip.
Yeah.
Like Wednesday, I think it was the day that we actually hit the record. Like the morning meeting, like I mentioned how like it was like a story about me.
Yeah.
And like I remember Alex, I think you remember it as well. And like the team banged it after that.
Yeah. But a story about anything that relates to the A player or the C player. That's it. As long as this story can relate to the A player and the C player, that's what matters. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, I remember when Giacomo first started my team, he's like an American football player, right? So the story that I used, Tom Brady had literally just retired that year. So I just did a massive like story about how he was like an underdog, blah, blah, and he picked himself up and now he's the fucking Don, and now he's the GOAT, all of that stuff. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Thursday, okay, is education again. But it's a sales specific education. Actually, no, hold on. Actually, no. Thursday, sorry, it's just fun. It's just fun. Like fucking about, having fun, office Olympics, egg and spoon race, whatever it is, just something hilarious just to fucking get people fucking fired up and having a jokes time. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. And then the last one, okay, is Friday, and this is education again, so education. So it can be either a skill or it can be a business impact. So an advancement meeting, sales foundations, whatever it is. Cool? But the close for all of these things here, for for Tuesday, for Wednesday, for Thursday, for Friday. The intro, okay, is whatever the meeting is, the story, blah, blah. The presentation, okay, the short story in the presentation is always gonna be the impact, okay? So the what and the why and the how, okay? And then the close is always gonna tie in to whatever you spoke about on the Monday. Bro, I'm not even joking. This structure that I use and this framework that I used to run a deal, I'm telling you now, is the reason why we grew from like 3 fucking guys, okay? From 3 fucking guys to, I don't even know how many guys we've got now. Do you know what I mean? And like how we went from literally, I think like 2 to 3K in our first week to like, I think we did like, I don't know, 20, 24K last week or whatever it was.
You know, is that Matt Singleton's record?
I think Singleton's was like 27 this year. But in 2022, I did like 56, so that's the record we need to beat.
Who cares about 2022, man?
Yeah, we don't. No, the 20s is lame, bro. The 20s should just be a standard, especially with the comms we've got now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I think that's definitely just, it's not that difficult, is it? Like collect the data. These are the main 3 that you need to do. Okay, so gauges, prologue, profit and loss. Okay, and then you work out all your meetings from this data. Okay, and then from this data you understand your ABC players, so you know who you're going to tailor the meeting around. Have you ever like have I ever run a meeting and then you felt like I was literally talking to you? Have you ever had that before? And you're like, you just genuinely thought like that is exactly what I needed to hear right now. The reason why is because I probably planned it around you. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a coincidence that like, oh, that was the meeting that I ran and that was like, oh my God, you related to it so much. It was like, obviously it related to you because that whole morning wasn't planned around everyone. It was only planned around my A players and the C players. That's it. And the people that get that right, like, they know how to generate 80% performance, okay, from 20% of people. Cool? Yeah. And everyone in the office should be fighting to be the 20%. Do you know what I mean? The 20% of the team is the fucking squad. Like the 20% is the group that everyone wants to be part of. 20% is the group that sometimes people don't like. Do you know what I mean? But if you're not at the 20%, like, you're not even about.
Yeah.
Cool?
Yeah.
Sweet. Really simple. All right, cool. And then, around that, your leaders meetings, I've pretty much covered all of it, but that's pretty much the basis of running a solid team. Cool, and it starts literally where all of you guys are at right now.
What would you cover in the leaders meetings
It's gonna be based on...
before you do the atmosphere?
Yeah, it's going to be important, man. So it's like, it depends on obviously where the gauges are at, right? So let's just say if we've got a team that are not speaking to enough people, my leaders meetings are going to be on how to run a solid car ride or train ride, or what conversations through the day, or like lunchtime. Okay, so like what's the midday impact? Okay, because if people aren't working hard, the reason why is because the conversations are a bit weak and the standards are really low. So it's a really easy like transition. If you've just progressed a ton of people to a leadership position and they need the extra like impact on like education on how to train and motivate people, then we'll go through like a very structured what to do with someone the first day, second day, first week, second week, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions around that?
So in terms of before you said that's Facebook, so that's the order that you do things. So run that.
This is exactly the order. So gauges first, production log I fill in after, what's my profit and loss in a day, okay? And then it will teach me the guys' work ethic, skill, mentality, and then I'll go through my ABC players, and then I'll go through my one-to-one conversations and how I'm gonna improve each of these people, okay? And then I'm only really focusing on the A players and the C players anyway, which is 20% of the team, so for the one-to-ones with them. My leaders meetings is gonna be based on the gauges, on like where we're at, and also like what skill I need to teach the leaders I can't make all the impacts. I need to teach the leaders to be able to make the impact on everyone else. Okay, and then I'll run, the sales impact will be in a specific thing that's lacking in the gauges. So let's just say, I don't know, we're not walking into enough properties, or we're not closing, we're not getting enough people on the tablet, or we're not completing the verification call. The sales impact is gonna be around any of that, okay? The morning meeting, okay, is gonna be based on any of these things here, okay, but again, tailored towards my A's and my C's, okay? And then I also, once I've done that, I'll finish off with my territory planning, so my territory management. So I'll work out, so when we get to a specific market, let's just say when you open up in Nottingham, you're gonna break down knots into six parts, okay? You're gonna do this part first, and then you're gonna do this part. So you're gonna have a team of 4 guys here, you're gonna have a team of 4 guys here.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then we're gonna go from here to here. From here to here. And then from here to here. And then the goal is to saturate this. And then you'll probably
You're gonna break it into 6 parts. Or?
6 parts, yeah. So 8 parts. So you bang this, and by the time you get back, by the time this team here gets to here, okay, they would have already done like 4 months here, or 3 months here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a banger. Let me see if it's actually working. It's got a subwoofer, and I just want to hear what it's like.
And there's no such thing as going to be no more territory. There will always be territory.
There's always territory.
So what are you guys going to do about BG then? Because like, if they don't give us more of South London, if they don't give us more of London,
Just get a new campaign. Broadband, or move some guys onto Scottish Rail.
why aren't they?
Just being long. Either way, we'll bang it though. Do you know what I mean? If we have to flip some more guys into SP, then we just have to do. Do you know what I mean? There's no difference, is it?
Did SP go over London?
Huh? Yeah, they got with the whole London. But we're the only agency on it.
Pardon?
We're the only agency on it.
On what?
We're the only partners for SP.
In London. So I'm at SB guy up north. Wasn't it?
Cool.
Why? I don't see why they wouldn't have the incentive to give us more of London.
Because the other team is doing pretty much a similar number to us.
But do they have all of London as well?
Who?
The other team.
They have all the north.
But we don't even have all the south.
Yeah, no, they only have a bit of the north as well.
So I mean, if we're both banging it, just give us everything.
Yeah.
When it comes to cutting territories, do you split the B players and the A and C?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So yeah, the one is very important. It's very important. You guys understand this? Good shout. A players, B players, and C players. Okay, A players and C players are only together. B players are always off their own thing. Yeah, and the B players have to toughen it out to get out of that B player zone. Because if you put a B player amongst all the C players and A players, they'll turn them into B players. It's easier for people to conform down than it is for people to go up.
That's what I learned literally like 2 days ago. To separate.
Yeah, man. It's very important. It's very important. want to hear this subwoofer, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's why Yoda's a Croy.
But you know what Yoda's on, bro. Oh, bro, that German lady can hear that. You can hear it like, nah, this is not fair. Like, you can hear that. I'll be wrong.
Should be a DJ.
Man, that's a banger.
When would you have your bottom line conversation with beat players?
I have a 3-strike rule. If I have to say something 3 times, I run. Yeah, nice. All right, cool. Any questions on that? Huh? Nah? Pretty simple though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, when you're cutting the tea, then it's obviously here, and then what? Here.
That's
this
just
is
free
like-
for the next month.
It's how you carry on rolling.
Yeah, so no, sorry. It is 6. The reason why is because you want to do... No, what? Yeah, you want to do 6, and the reason why is because the goal is to do 2 months on each part of the pie, and then you do 2 months, 2 months, 2 months. Does that make sense?
Is each part of the pie one postcode?
Huh?
Is each part of the pie one postcode?
Yeah.
So here,
Yeah.
and then here.
Yeah, and then there and there.
Do you think on a campaign like this that we can spend a whole 2 months in one postcode?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because you can do
Nottingham, though, it's not going to be like bare blocks like it is.
No, but it's not one postcode. It's literally, it's like, it's just do the northwest, okay, of Nottingham, but you have Mansfield as well, bro.
Yeah.
Like you've got Mansfield, you've got Derby, okay, you've got Boston,
You've got
Melton Mowbray, you've got so many. So Derby, you've got Boston.
Leicester.
You got Leicester, yeah, Leicester.
Don't get me there.
Bro, it's just. I'm not even joking, bro. It's
You've got to send the name in 11 to Leicester, man.
yeah, it's gonna be filth. So
that girl that from AC yesterday that's on the student visa that can't do BG, oh mate, get her in Leicester.
Get her leading the kick off, right, mate?
but yeah, man. All right, sweet. But that's pretty much it. That's the planning, man. Cool, easy.
And how long would that run?